The great seer Nostradamus tells all by William P. Lazarus. Chapter 2, Episode 2. Nostradamus calmly watched the familiar scene. Ernest, too, did not seem impatient. The young man did not even shift his feet but waited politely as if expecting but a moment's delay. Glancing surreptitiously at Ernest, Nostradamus wondered what his companion was thinking. Many people whispered that grandfather was in league with Satan and told stories about wicked experiments he was conducting. Nostradamus had heard the tales, but only second-hand. His neighbors quieted whenever he wandered by. The old women who spread most of the rumors warned him about spending time with the old man. One crone even walked into his bath and carefully examined his entire body. The sign of the devil, she said she was looking for. Apparently, thank Jesu, it wasn't there. Ernest was obviously interested with the proceedings. He stared at each furnace in turn, surveyed the equipment, and studied grandfather. Nostradamus already felt comfortable with this stranger. Now he began to like him. What would his grandfather think? Jean de Saint-Remy was often cold to strangers, having little to do with even his own family. Yet he treated his grandson warmly and allowed his intrusions. As a result, Nostradamus felt as though he had been admitted to some secret ritual. Now, despite the silence, he sensed Ernest had also been gainsaid the same entry. Verum sine mendatio certum et vertissimum, Ernest recited without prompting. Grandfather turned around immediately and stared as the young man continued. Quod est superius est sicut, quod est inferius. Do you know the whole alchemy table? The old man asked as the tongs drooped to his side. Et quod est inferius est sicut, quod est superius, ad perpetranda miracular re unius, Ernest continued. For a moment the two eyed each other warily. Where did you learn that? Grandfather asked hoarsely. From my master Leonardo da Vinci, grandfather nodded. Ah, I am not surprised. He is a great man, Ernest began. He is a whore, grandfather countered. He is learning the secrets of the universe, Ernest continued. He would sell his soul for 2 sous? Only to the devil. Ernest retorted with a sly grin, and only if the devil revealed the secrets of life itself. Grandfather spat on the floor and crossed himself. I have no need for Satan, I alone know the secrets of alchemy, I have learned them here. Have you a philosopher's stone? Ernest demanded. Nostradamus heard the urgency in the courier's tone and was surprised. I am but days away from such a wondrous discovery, grandfather said. My master has one. He has synthesized the spirits of life, merged the earth, fire, water, air, and distilled the single agent known to transform all others. Ernest said airily. Grandfather dropped the tongs on the floor, rushed to the youth's side, and grabbed his arm. I would give my life for such a miracle, he whispered. Do not shout it, for all the princes of the world would descend on your master to rob him. He went to the door, made sure it was sealed, and returned. His quick movement made the glowing embers billow even more and cast fierce shadows around the room. Sopped with perspiration already, Nostradamus felt a rush of heat and almost staggered. His grandfather sipped from a tumbler of water on the table and pressed against Ernest. Do you know a step I might have missed? You are but a lad, but you have keen eyes. You must have watched your master. Tell me the secret, young sire, that I may die a contented man. I am not privy to such knowledge, Ernest replied. I have only seen him transfer rude lead into bright gold and then return it. Grandfather sighed. Perspiration dripped from his beard onto the wooden floor in a steady stream. The flames sent shadows to line the creases of his worn face and scrape at the moles that marred his cheeks. Of course, he murmured. Perhaps if you sent a messenger to learn such secrets as my master would share, Ernest suggested. He is old like you. His days are as numbered as the wood needed daily for your furnaces. He might be willing to impart such wisdom that it may not die with him, but be used to serve future generations. Nostradamus tingled. Was Ernest talking about him? He could not see any emotion on Ernest's face. What did he make that subtle hint? Barely able to control himself, Nostradamus studied the ceiling, the wall, anything but to see his grandfather forming the words to reject Ernest's idea. You may not know it, grandfather said thoughtfully, but you have raised an interesting thought. Pax nobiscum. I shall heed the request of a learned master who has achieved so much and received the fame that has shunned my own efforts. Ernest bowed solemnly. I will take your young grandson to my master that he may absorb the knowledge and pass it on to his seed and to those who follow them. he said. With a sob, grandfather grabbed Ernest's hand and covered it with tears and kisses. Thank you, my wishes have come true, he collected himself. I will inform my son of this great moment, he managed, then turned to me. You must leave at once on the off chance I will still be breathing when my grandson returns. Grandpa, Nostradamus cried and embraced the older man. His grandfather pushed him away. Get some clean clothes and come back here, he ordered in more familiar tones. I have some things for you to bear to Leonardo da Vinci. Ernest bowed. My mission is half accomplished. I too must prepare to depart. He backed to the door as though leaving a king. The door opened and closed quickly, and then he was gone. Nostradamus ran to his family's small apartment in the next building. His sister sat in the kitchen knitting. A cat skidded out of the way. In a moment, he changed into his other pair of short pants and blouse. Then he placed 2 blouses and some stockings in a small bag and hurried back. His feet barely seemed to touch the floor. His sister sat up, expecting him to explain. Her mouth was partly open, and her eyes darted from his face to his bag. Nostradamus wanted to say something, but his mind was aflame with the sense of adventure. Instead, he kissed Bridget on the cheek and sped away. His grandfather was no longer working at a furnace. As Nostradamus entered, his heart beating excitedly, the old man ignored him. He was slowly inching a brick from the far wall across from the door. The brick moved reluctantly, grating red dust with each creaking movement. Then, suddenly, it plopped into the old man's hands. Reverently, he placed it on the table. The hole it left looked like a black, blank eye gaping out from the wall. Grandfather reached in and tugged at something, apparently heavy. Nostradamus could hear a clink, then saw a red pouch slide into view. He had heard rumors that his grandfather was rich, that he turned lead into gold. He was often teased about his lack of money by other boys who said his grandfather should buy him a castle, hire servants, and turn his coarse wool into silk. Nostradamus even bought his companions some candy in an effort to disguise his poverty, using money quietly borrowed from his father's own tight purse. Amazingly, here was proof his grandfather was wealthy. The coins inside strained the limits of the bulging container. Bits of gold could be seen shining through its worn sides. Grandfather rested the purse on his gnarled hands as though weighing it. A lifetime of blood is collected here, the old man said in a reverent tone. Nostradamus swallowed hard. You are young, his grandfather continued. You will need some assistance. He laid the purse on the table with a clank. I was young once and full of dreams. That was in Cordoba. He looked at this grandson with tears in his eyes. I brought your father here as a baby. He never knew. He wanted to be accepted, but there are changes coming. I can feel it. You can too. He gazed into Nostradamus' eyes. Perhaps you will be gifted. Grandfather, Nostradamus started, hoping to say something profound. The silence between the old man's words echoed around him and engulfed him. He felt as though he had been whisked away from the world he knew into some strange, mysterious room, there to be given the great wisdom from an angelic being. His eyes filled with tears. Be still. Absorb, his grandfather commanded. Something creaked outside. The door opened slightly, as though the wind wanted to hear. The outside noise, the cackle of chickens, the rush of horses, invaded the small laboratory. The old man ignored it. Nostradamus could not hear anything but could only stare at those dark eyes, encrusted with dried mucus and residue from 1,000 experiments. His eyebrows had been singed by the heat, his cheeks frayed, his gray beard blackened. Standing this close, Nostradamus felt awed by the deep, rude lines on his grandfather's face and the intensity in his message. Unable to speak, barely able to breathe, he gazed into his grandfather's eyes and listened. We must work in secret to achieve our synthesis, our metamorphosis of the human soul back to its angelic plane, grandfather said. We must find the secret nugget that will generate the transformation. That is what I am doing, distilling, measuring, searching for that elixir that will inaugurate a return to grace. I seek no gold. That is for charlatans who have perfected sleight of hand. The sounds from the outside intruded more. I seek only the truth. My work must be done in secret lest the ignorant spoil the experiments. That is why this is called a black art. I must lurk in shadows, searching the flames for a hint of my reward. Reward, yes, and yours too. You will follow me, I know it. You will learn such secrets as I have only dreamt. Won't you, boy? Nostradamus could not move a muscle. His grandfather shook him and revived him. Won't you, won't you? The old man cried. Yes, 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 Nostradamus gasped. Grandfather slowly opened his purse. I have saved but a few gold coins for such an occasion. I hid that money when I first came here and there it has stayed. The purse clicked open. See, under the red dust. The coins are as bright as the day I received them. Licking his lips, he removed one, then two of the coins. Take these, my son, and use them wisely for the good of mankind. The door flew open. Ernest was breathing hard. Hurry, he cried. We must go quickly. He caught his breath. A messenger has reported that last week our heroic French army defeated the forces of the League in Ravenna, but General Gaston de Foix has been killed. I fear the worst. The Germans will join the League, and without de Foix we will lose. The Pope will win. Sforza will return to Milan, the Medici to Florence. Many will die. We must be away. Behind him there were sounds of cheering and yelling. A celebration had started for the great victory. As if galvanized, Ernest rushed up to Nostradamus and took his arm. Grandfather stepped back. Hurry, Ernest insisted. I go, Nostradamus said, although uncertain why Ernest would be concerned about a French victory. He embraced his grandfather, feeling the old man's thin body. How frail he seemed, so different from the man who showed such strength with iron tongs and thick clay vessels. He suddenly was sure he would never see the old man again, and so hugged him even tighter. Ernest propelled Nostradamus toward the door. No more delay, he insisted. His body made an odd, tickling musical sound as he pulled Nostradamus along. The horse, a large, white-splotched animal, pawed the ground impatiently as the two approached. Ernest climbed on and then hoisted Nostradamus in front of him. Nostradamus felt something hard and round inside Ernest's blouse pressing against his back. In a moment, the horse began to trot through the rapidly expanding throng. Unmindful of the riders, townspeople were waving ribbons, lighting candles, playing music, shouting and dancing. The horse started, but managed to continue on through the crowd. Men and women, emerging from the various shops and homes to commemorate the French success, did not the stray horse a second look. Nostradamus twisted. Behind him, his grandfather had appeared in the front door. He was standing there, his beard cascading over his chest. Nostradamus had a fleeting image of him. He was so much smaller, removed from the laboratory's deep shadows and into the sunlight. He disappeared a moment and reappeared, yelling something. Nostradamus could only hear a few words repeated through the riotous clamor. My purse. Where is my purse? For years afterward, Nostradamus often wondered what his grandfather had meant. Be sure to let us know how you're enjoying this novel. Share with friends, and before listening to Chapter 3, Episode 1.